Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into Unintentional Love Story. We're diving into episode 5, and episode 4, it ended in a place that just made me really, really happy. It makes me sad for the potential emotional devastation that we might get as a result of some of the secrets and whatnot that we're telling throughout the series. But as far as just the chemistry and the connection that the characters are making, it's happening very, very beautifully, very organically, and it's lovely to watch. So we're going to dive into this episode and see where it takes us. Full reaction will be over on Patreon for free. If you'd like early access to these reactions, you can also become a member over on Patreon. And yeah, let's dive in and see where this goes.
한번 해볼래요? 네? 사장님, 방금 걸음마 뗀 애한테 뭐 돌려차기 해볼까? 뭐 하시는 거예요? 하루 체험하는 사람들도 하는 겁니다. 겁내지 말아요.
Y'all better have this little ghost moment. Start making this vase. Come on, Pottery.
중심이 잡혔으면 위를 눌러서 속을 파요. 원하는 모양을 만들 만큼
You better put your water in my hole, child.
힘 빼요. 힘을 주는 손은 오른손이에요. 왼손은 그냥 얹어두기만 하면 돼요.
Child, y'all better have this romance. Got me feeling some type of way.
아니, 꼭 이렇게 가르쳐 주셔야 되는 거예요?
I know. Why are you teaching me while wearing pants? I ask the same questions all the time. Child.
사장님은 아쉬우시겠다. 여자 수강생이었으면 엄청 떨릴 것 같은데.
그럴 수도 있지만
It's like you can.
남자라고 안 그럴 것 같아요?
Child. He's like, you keep trying to deflect and push me away, but I'm gonna keep letting you know how I feel. I'm gonna keep telling you without actually saying the words.
맞네. 물리 수업 어려워서 떨리는 건데 남자 여자가 어디 있겠어요?
Sweet boy. Taejun's like, I swear to God, will you please just catch the hint already, Lord?
계속 연습하면 나아질 거예요.
It's like, okay, I'll let you breathe for now. I won't keep pushing. Clearly, you're not ready for this yet, so I'll back off for now. Once again, soundtrack is absolutely fabulous. Love, love, love. It's probably one of the best soundtrack series I've reacted to in a while. And I know you guys probably been with me long enough and you're like, Topher, I feel like you say this about every series you react to. You're always commenting on the soundtrack. And that's true. I do. Whenever I find just a really good song in the background or I feel like they really, really capture the mood that they're going for, I'll comment on it. But like this as a whole, like we're only 5 episodes in, but as a whole, the collection of music is just so good. And it just reminds me of Where Your Eyes Linger and a couple of the earlier series that I used to react to on this channel, where I immediately went out and bought those soundtracks and just listened to them, and to this day still listen to them because I just love the music itself so much. There's everybody going through it this episode, and there's a lot of complicated feelings, and it, like, there's a part of me that is frustrated because I'm like, if you would only just use your words and have an honest conversation. I preach this every damn series. We could have solved so much. But then there's the other part of me that I'm like, this feels so just authentic and true to life. So there are so many situations where it's like, yes, if we just used our words, that would be fantastic. We could solve the problems. But there's just like this one instance that passes where we don't try to clear up this misunderstanding, or we don't fully explain what's going on. And then that one instance of us not taking the time to clear up or, say words causes all of these other little ricochet moments to happen. And all of a sudden things have just spiraled into whatever they've spiraled into, when it could have taken a completely different path had we just done it at this point. We started off at dinner, or we rejoined Dong-hee and Hotae, and basically Hotae was like, I want to tell you my wish, but you gotta promise that you'll do it before I tell you, which I'm like, for me, no, you gotta tell me what this is. I'm not gonna make any blind promises and have you take my kidney or something like that. I need to know what's happening. But he, took a couple shots and he's like, I would like you to go out with me for a month. Not as brothers. I think we should kiss and shit. And he was met with a slap to the face. And I'm like, what happened? Girl, what happened? What did I miss? I need more flashback. What happened? Because the one flashback we had with you guys was on your birthday. You treated his little wounds on his face. He got you this little watch from the vending machine claw game thing, and you guys seemed happy, and you've been holding on to this picture and this watch since then. In secret, you've kept it in your little stash, but you've kept it with you. I mean, hell, at work, at the very least, out there in public. You could have left it at home. You could have left it in your bedside table, but you bring it with you to work for whatever reason. It means something to you that you want to see it 8+ hours a day on a daily basis. So I'm like, it felt like they had potentially some romantic inclination, but obviously something went down because of the negative interactions they had at the beginning of the series. So I wasn't sure if they ended up dating or something. It doesn't appear as though they did, or maybe, I don't know, because in the conversation they were having in the alley, when he's like, I always had girlfriends, but I always broke up with them, and then I wondered why, and it was you. And it's like, okay, so he dated girls all throughout the duration of whatever their friendship was. So I don't know that they've actually had any sort of romantic entanglement outside of just maybe mutual feelings that were never acted upon. But perhaps Dong-hee did have feelings, but could never act, was just that sort of person kind of resigned to the friend zone, and having a crush on the straight guy that he'll never have, that whole old storyline. Maybe it was something along those lines. So that's might be why he's harboring all of these feelings, all these emotions, this very negative response. I can understand him having hesitations, but I'm still not understanding just the outright negative, visceral response he has to the idea of Hotae wanting to date him. Because again, it's one thing for me to just be like, no, I don't want to do this, but he has got such a visceral response where the idea is proposed and he immediately goes into fits of violence, like slap. He kisses him again without consent, so yes, you probably deserve a slap up the head, or y'all have heard my consent speeches enough. So yes, it was an unconsented kiss, so you pushed yourself up on me, so you probably should be told about yourself and whatnot. But still, the level of aggressiveness in him, I'm like, where is this coming from? Why are we so against this? Again, you are entitled to your feelings, and you are entitled to say, no, I don't want to date somebody. I don't want to do this, that, and the other, and that's fine. That should be the end of the conversation. But just that deep rooted aggressiveness he has as a response of this. And it doesn't, from what I've seen, it feels unprovoked, aside from the, unconsented kiss. The level of aggression and negativity feels terribly unwarranted and unprovoked for what we've seen. So I'm like, did something happen that we just have not seen yet? Is there a flashback yet to come that explains the deep-seated nature of the relationship, how they had a falling out? Did Dong-hee confess his feelings? Because, like I've said a number of times on this channel, sometimes I've had those instances where I've had crushes on friends. I've had crushes on people before in the past, and I knew that it was not going to work out for whatever reason or another. But the best way for me to get over that was to confess those feelings so that I could move on, move forward, and, do all that kind of stuff. Or, see if I have a shot, But living in that limbo is like hell. So maybe he confessed his feelings and was turned down. So now he's having this adverse reaction, like remembering, hey, you already turned me down. Why are you messing with my head? Why are you messing with my emotions? I don't know. I'm spitballing ideas because, like I said, he just has such a visceral response to the idea of Hotae wanting to date him. And granted, the way Hotae was phrasing it in that alley, I'm like, don't make it sound like this is just an experiment for yourself. Because there was one point there where he was like, yeah, so can I just try dating you for a month and, just not put up a fight, or you just, however he phrased it, was like, it felt very kind of like, I just want to try this out and see, because I don't know. I think I might have feelings. I just kind of want to see what happens. And in that case, I'm like, okay, well, my emotions, I'm not here to be anyone's springboard out of homosexuality or into bisexuality. Like, I'm not here to be your little testing. Like, I'm a full grown ass adult at this point in life. I'm not here to be a little experiment. Okay. If you got feelings for me, you got feelings for me. But yeah, I'm just very curious about just their history. I need more clarification. I need to know more about them. Anyway, we started off with that whole situation. Then we jumped to the next morning. Won Young is in bed typing up his report, and then he gets a text like, oh, class is about to start. It's like, oh, crap. So he rushes over to the workspace, and it's pottery time, and we're teaching him how to use the pottery wheel, and it's super adorable. Sure, it might be a cliche romantic movie moment. I got to teach them, so I got to teach them slowly and intimately from behind. Just like any time in a movie or TV show, you got to teach someone how to play pool, or you got to teach them how to cook, or it's always got to be from behind, where I'm wrapped my arms around you and you got this beautiful music playing and we're just kind of gazing. Like, yeah, it's very cliche, but I love it. I eat that shit up. Nom, 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 nom. So, yes. But cliche or not, I think that they, just like I said last episode, the way they're framing the scene, the cinematography paired with the soundtrack, paired with just their acting in general, like these scenes, they feel alive, even though they're not doing, they are just standing here holding, kind of hugging from behind, sure, but just doing the pottery thing. But like the scene itself, it breathes, it feels alive. We're just living in these moments, and it's just very, very well done. And I think that was the straw that broke Won Young's back? Yeah, more or less. Because coming off of the conversation we were having at the end of last episode, why am I forgetting his name? Taejun. I was about to call him Jatae. I'm like, no, that's a dance move. Taejun. He's dropping massive hints. Like, if this were a softball, like it started off with him just like, here's an easy pitch. Here's an easy pitch. At this point, he's throwing watermelons down the line. Like, please hit this. Please hit this out of the park. Please, for the love of God, don't miss these hints I'm throwing at you. And Won Young is just being, well, at first he was being oblivious and like, oh, whoever you're with, the girl you like must be super lucky, this, that, the other. And then I can't tell if Won Young is starting to become aware of Taejun's feelings, like the hints are starting to land, or if it's just Won Young starting to feel things himself and not wanting to cross a line, not wanting to step on toes, not wanting to be that person that we were talking about, speculating about earlier, not wanting to be that person who's falling for someone who they feel that they can't have, who feels like they're falling for the straight guy that they're never going to have. Because that kind of sucks too. So I don't know. I don't know if his flight impulse that is happening right now is a result of him realizing Taejun has feelings for him, and he's like, oh no, can't do this, because again, you know, he's out here kind of sort of deceiving. There's a secret that's still looming that is going to come out at some point about why he is here. So maybe that is triggering something in him. He's like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I gotta go. And maybe if we keep our distance, then, you know, or if it's just him feeling feelings inside of him, and he's like, oh, I don't want to feel this for this man for whatever arbitrary reason. I don't know 100% what Won Young's inner monologue is telling him, but it's telling him that he's got to get out of this house. So next morning he's like, hey, I'm gonna start looking for a new house, because I feel like I shouldn't be here anymore. And you could see in Taejun that he was not pleased. He was not pleased by this news. And then we flash to him in the workspace pummeling this clay, and it's like, yes, he is not pleased. But he's also not going to hold him hostage. And then this is where some more of those really complex emotions start coming into the picture, because you can see that Taejun does not want to let him go. Taejun doesn't want him to go. He's got feelings for this kid, so he's like, I don't want him to go. I'm still entranced by this kid, and I would rather him stay. But he's also not going to hold him hostage. And Won Young said, you know, whether I stay or whether I look for somewhere else to live, shouldn't that be my choice? And it's like, yes, it should be his choice. You can't force him to stay here. And I think that Taejun realizes that. So then as the episode goes on, obviously they both have feelings for each other. And if at some point earlier in the episode, one of them just had the conversation, I feel like it's resting on Taejun right now. Because while I would love it for Won Young to just like spout out, hey, I like you, sir, I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to. I don't know if he's got the confidence in himself or in this dynamic to make such an assertive statement like that. I think he's really just waiting for that confirmation coming from Taejun. So I feel like the ball is in Taejun court. It's unfair. I feel like either of them should be able to just say, hey, I like you, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like it's waiting for Taejun to be like, you're the person I've been talking about this last episode and a half. You're the person that I enjoy. You're the person whose head I'm trying to turn. But since Taejun did not do that, because he's like, I don't want to hold him hostage. I don't want him to feel like, I don't want him to feel uncomfortable. I don't want him to feel like I'm pressuring him. I don't want him to feel like I'm coming on too strong. So, okay, if he wants to leave, I'll let him leave. And in that's that's the place where it's like, if we had just used our words to clear up this circumstance, the whole rest of this episode where all of these uncomfortable moments, all these uncomfortable feelings, all these feelings of getting all of our feelings getting hurt and whatnot could have potentially been avoided and just not happened if we just over here said, hey, this is the deal. This is what I'm feeling. Just put all the cards on the table. But we did not. So we go down this rabbit hole of searching for a new house for him. House hunting is not going well because Taejun is he's being a little tough, but also I'm like, as somebody who's been through the house hunting market before, who's been on a house hunt, and has worked with realtors before, it's the realtor's job to find you a quality place. So if there are A, B, C, D, E, F, G issues with the place, and then they're expecting me to pay A, B, C, D, like, so he's bringing up sometimes fair concerns, like the wallpaper. I feel like that's a very fair thing to put. Like if I were moving into a new place and it looked like there was a hole in the corner of the wall, or like the wallpaper's peeling off, I'd be like, they gonna fix this? Or you gonna give me a discount? Like, I'll fix it, but you gotta take however much money off the top of this price. Otherwise, they gonna fix this before I move in? Like, you know? So there are some instances where I'm like, he might have been a little overly critical because, you know, he's trying to keep his man. But there's other instances where I'm like, no, these are very fair questions when you're out house shopping. Yeah. But then they had the conversation outside, and I know Won Young was just talking. He was just saying any old thing to give some sort of reason as to why he can't stay. And he's listing all these reasons, and Taejun's like, I didn't realize that it was so hard for you. But if at any point it was unbearable, or I made it uncomfortable or something, I apologize. And then he just went on his merry way, and then they hadn't seen each other in a while. Or, you know, he dropped him off at work. I guess it was still technically the same day. But you could see visibly in Taejun's face, he was hurt. And then you could kind of see it in Won Young's face, where he was conscious of the fact that he may have hurt feelings by the things he said. And so there's just awkward energy that didn't need to be there. But Won Young went back to work. He started dropping off the coffees, and then that's when he started eavesdropping on the conversation between Hote and Jung Hee, which, you know, kind of already touched on that. Again, I need more information, because like, I like the idea of them dating, but I also don't know all of their history. I don't know what they've been through and how they got to this point. But something happened. Something had to have happened or didn't happen to give Jung Hee such a intense response to the prospect of dating this man. What? I don't know, but hopefully we'll clear up those. But yep, then he returns back to the coffee shop. He's like, Johnny's he hasn't got his coffee. Can you take it to the shop for him? He's like, yeah, okay. And then he peers in and he sees Taejun catching up with the lady we met a couple minutes prior from the other shop. And I called at that moment. She was going to be there, and he's going to start misreading the situation and getting his feelings hurt and this, that, the other. And then Taejun came out to, like, oh, what's going on? It's like, oh, I brought you the coffee. It's like, are you going to be home late tonight? It's like, no, I'm not going to be home tonight. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, God, there's still, it's complicated feelings, because at this point, I get Taejun, he's had his feelings semi sort of quasi hurt, and he's going through some things right now. But B, he doesn't want to come off too strong. He doesn't want to feel like he's pushing himself onto this boy. So he's like, fine, I'm just going to cut ties right now. He wants to leave. I'm gonna let him leave. I'm not in a headspace right now to try and sweet talk or woo him. No, cut ties. Just make this separation easy for the both of us. And it hurts. It hurts me. It makes me sad. And then each one of them's thinking about the other one the whole damn night, and just. Then he left him the little note with the wine or the alcohol, whatever drink he bought, and just like, ugh. So yeah, lots of everyone's going through it. Lots of complex emotions, and I get where they're coming from, but it's just like, oh, can't we all just love each other? Why can't we just all be in love? Oh, why can't love be easy? But that's life. That's a question of just life. Why can't love be easy? Why can't love just be enough? Oh, I wish I knew, but yep, another great episode. Can't wait to dive into the next one. I actually may just do it right now. Who knows? You'll just have to wait and see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. Again, if you'd like early access to these reactions, you can join us over on Patreon. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. Mwah.